Hey, just a quick note before this video starts. Unfortunately, I forgot that there's a delay on my camera and my audio for when I'm playing games on the Switch and the PlayStation. I forgot to turn that off for this. So the webcam is going to be a little out of sync, and the audio is going to be a little out of sync. It's not terrible, I don't think. So hopefully it's not too distracting for you guys for this video, because I do really like the battles that I had in it. So I didn't want to just throw those away. So again, sorry about that. I'll be more diligent about it in future videos, but I hope you enjoy this video even with that little bit of mistake. Hello everybody, this is Pocket Zombie, and welcome back. Wait, everybody out there's like, wait a minute, what is happening? What year is it? Is this Sharp Dress Gaming? What's happening? For those of you who don't know, I used to have a channel called Sharp Dress Gaming where I did a lot more Pokemon content. I mean, I say a lot more. It seems to be we're going to be doing that again over here in Pocket Zombie, but yeah, you know, this isn't a Pokemon channel. Don't get your panties in a twist. I mean, at least I'm making content now, right? But anyway, yeah, we're gonna start messing around with the Pokemon TCG. I haven't really played the Pokemon TCG for many years. I used to be very much into it. Like, I went to regional tournaments and things for it, but then I ended up switching to the video game competition instead, for multitude of reasons. One, the card game, it gets so expensive if you're trying to keep up with stuff. Two, at the time, you veterans out there will remember this card. Seismitoad EX had just been in the game for so long, and I hated that card with a passion, because it was a card where I believe it was for 2 colorless energy, you could do 30 damage, and if you use that attack, the opponent couldn't use any trainer cards, and it was just infuriating. I hated it, and it was in the meta for so long, eventually I just gave up and I sold all my cards. So I have like nothing left at this point. But me and my friends were talking about it, talking about the TCG after playing D&D one night. By the way, if you guys ever were watching one of my videos and thought, I want to see this idiot play D&D, I haven't really shouted out any of the places I play D&D at, and one of those places, if you wanted to find me, is Swindler's Den here on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description below. I think as of right now, YouTube's not letting me like do hyperlinks because they think I'm a bot or something, but I will leave the link down there. Also, you can just search Swindler's Den on YouTube, and you can find it. Watch me play some D&D if you want, with some very cool people. A lot of those people I actually met through playing Pokemon. So, hey. But yeah, we're trying to get back into it here. So, if people are coming here for like super meta decks and strategies, you're not gonna get that from me, at least right now. We're just starting out blank, fresh, brand new baby boys on the new Pokemon TCG Live. So I have like no cards. I literally just did the tutorial again. I did it on a different account and then realized it had like my government name as my account name, and it wouldn't let me switch it because Pokemon hates letting you try to switch your screen name for some dumb reason. So I just went through my Baka Zombie account instead. But yeah, we're just gonna run through like. By the way, Pokemon TCG Live is so much more than Pokemon TCG Online was. Like, they have a battle pass on here. It seems to be so much easier to get the cards that you need and want, without having to buy a bunch of booster packs outside of the game. You can actually, like, you can either buy them in-game with real money, or you get a bunch of credits and you can buy singular cards. And then also these, like, base decks that they give you they seem a lot better than the ones that they used to give you in the TCGO. So, I've played one game on it so far. So, as of my one game that I've played, I love it. Alright, I like it much better than I did the other game. But, hey, let's stop rambling. Let's get into this. So, we're going to be using the first deck that this game starts you out with, and that is an Arcanine EX deck. Now, I've already faced one of the other decks here on the ranked ladder. that I liked a lot more. We're going to get to that in the next video, but we're going to just like one by one go through these and then maybe build our own deck if we've gotten enough resources for that. But yeah, for as of right now, we're just gonna do this. And because these are default decks, we're not going to go through each and every single card. It'd be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. We're just I'm going to talk about the main 3 that I think are important for this deck. Not this one first. Why did I click on this one first? Let's start with Arcanine EX. So this deck really runs off of you taking damage and dealing damage back really big, really hard. I could have said it that way, but it seemed weird to say it that way. So with Arcanine EX, for 2 fire-type energies, you can do 30 damage with this Raging Claw attack. But in addition, for every 10 or more damage you have on this Pokemon, or sorry, for every damage counter you have on this Pokemon, which damage counters are usually in increments of 10, you do 10 more damage with this attack. So with a large HP pool of 280, that means that you can get quite a bit of damage. The most damage you could do with that attack is 300 if you had 270 damage already dealt to this Arcanine. Its secondary attack also is a big hitter, especially if you don't have damage on you yet, but it does come at a cost. For 3 fire energy, Bright Flame does 250 damage, and you have to discard 2 of your fire type energies. I didn't mention this at the top, and I meant to. Alongside these aren't going to be meta decks to start off. I'm going to focus more on people who haven't really played the game or just don't know much about the game, so I'm going to try and be a little more in depth with my detail. If you guys have questions about what's happening on the screen, be sure to ask them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. The game hasn't changed that much that I don't know what's going on anymore, but there is going to be a few like niche mechanics, like the V-Star stuff. I kind of know what's happening, but not entirely. So we're going to kind of learn together on that as well. Speaking of new things, this has the new EX Pokemon have the Terra abilities. As long as this Pokemon is your bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks. I've seen that on a lot of different Pokemon, so it seems to be a thing that's very up and at 'em. This is also an EX Pokemon, so one of the goals in the Pokemon TCG is to, every time you knock out an opposing Pokemon, you get a prize card, which are 6 cards taken from your deck and placed face down at the start of the game. The goal of each match is either knock out all Pokemon that are on the field of your opponents, or to take all of your prize cards. Now, with these big EX Pokemon, you get 2 prize cards for each thing. So, or for each knockout. So it's a big trade-off. You get these big powerful Pokemon, but if they get knocked out, your opponent gets more prize cards. With that, we have another EX Pokemon in this deck. This is Charizard EX. You get, again, alongside the damage taken to do more damage. Brave Wing, fire type energy, single fire type energy is 60 damage. Normally, if you have any damage counters on you, it does an extra 100 damage. So for a single fire energy, you can do 160 damage. Otherwise, you do have the Explosive Vortex, 330 damage for 4 fire type energies, but you have to discard 3 of those. So again, you have these really big ones that you could start off with, discard that energy, and then hopefully you've taken damage by that point for your smaller attacks to be much more stronger. Much more stronger? Yeah, sure. I'm going to use multiple positive words. We also have a Radiant Charizard, which isn't it? There's so many things I'm going to be throwing at you guys. This Radiant Charizard is interesting because you don't have to go through the Charmander and Charmeleon evolutions first. You just slap out a Charizard right away. This one is, again, good for later game because you see all of that energy cost at the bottom for its Combustion Blast attack. You usually have to use 5 kinds of energy, 1 fire type, and then 4 of any kind of energy. If your opponent has taken a bunch of prize cards, for each prize card your opponent has taken, 1 less of those any type of energies is taken away. So you can get a big 250 damage off late game, which can be nice for some cleanup, but you can't use the attack Combustion Blast on your next turn. So it's kind of like a late game hard hitter card. Last but not least, we have our other Charizard in here. This one you do have to evolve through the Charmander Charmeleon, same as the Charizard EX. This one has a similar ability. For each fire energy attached to your Pokemon, it provides 2 fire type energies instead. So you kind of build up your energy faster, but you can't apply more than 1 of this ability burn brightly at a time. So you can't have multiple of these Charizards out, reducing a bunch of the energy cost. For 4 energies, you can do 170 damage, discard all fire type energy from this Pokemon. This Pokemon you don't want to be attacking with. This is when you want it sitting on your bench, which is like your reserve squad that are ready to go in place of your active Pokemon, who is the one up actively fighting. You have this one in the back, kind of reducing the cost of energy that your Pokemon need to use that are up front. Now that I've kind of gone over some of the main cards in this deck, we're going to go into a ranked battle and see how we can do. Alright, we got a battle coming off right off the rip here. I clicked on ranked, but then when it was searching, it was over in the standard, so I don't know if this is a rank or standard. We're gonna assume. We're gonna assume things, you know? But we got a battle right off the rip here, and we'll see. We should be matched with a similarly ranked opponent, so they should have one of these starter decks that we're using as well. So we might get a little taste of future videos to come here. As long as Abel is here and ready to fight. My guy, let's go. The viewers are waiting for the return of the TCG Pokemon.
Five minutes later.
Well, definitely a flaw in this game, because I sat there for probably 5-7 minutes and it was just waiting the entire time. Like, it just wouldn't start, so I just had to concede because there wasn't anything I could do. So yeah, definitely a flaw in this game. I've kind of looked it up and people are just kind of like, yeah, it's just something that sucks about this. So unfortunately, we just take a loss off the rip for no apparent reason. Either the game wasn't working or they just weren't doing anything on the opponent's side. So I don't know, man, but we're going to ignore that. We're going to go right into this next battle with our opponent here. Unfortunately, I didn't get any basic Pokemon. So to start this game, you need to have at least one basic Pokemon. Unfortunately, we drew only evolutions, so we had to mulligan, which lets our opponent draw an extra card. We had to mulligan like 5 times? Are you kidding me? Again, this deck isn't great. It is a starter deck, so we're just kind of out here at the unfortunate whim of how this deck is built. So we start with the Growlithe in the active. We throw a Barbarian and a Charmander on the bench and get this going. Our opponent starts with just a Natu, which this Natu, got a couple Natus going here. Just a single Psychic Energy. You can flip 3 coins, just 10 times the number of heads. Now, you can't evolve Pokemon on the first turn that they're on the field. And since this is my opponent's first turn, they can't evolve any of these Natu. I can't evolve my Growlithe on the next turn, but we are set up to be able to do so. Buddy Poffin. What does this do? Search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less, and then put them onto your bench and shuffle your deck afterwards. Just a bunch of Natu. All 4 of my opponent's Natu. You can only... Again, I'm going to be tossing in rules as we go for all these newer players that are watching. You can only have 4 of each card in your deck. So all 4 of my opponent's Natus are on the field. They drop a Psychic Energy. Because they went first, they can't attack straight away on their first turn, which is the drawback of choosing to go first. But it allows you to kind of get rolling faster as well. Now, I can attack here. The only attack I could do if I attach an energy, which you can only attach 1 energy per turn, I could use Stoke. I could search my deck for 2 basic fire energy and attach them to this Pokemon. So I could have my Arcanine up and running by next turn if I did this, which I think I'm going to. I'm going to look at my stadium card here. Once during each of your player's turns. The freaking timer's scaring me. Once during each player's, you may attach a fire energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon, fire type Pokemon. If any of your players, you take 2 damage counters if you attach an energy this way. Okay. So I'm going to just use my Stoke here to get 2 more basic fire energy and attach them to my Growlithe, and then that is my turn. As soon as you attack, your turn is over. One's got a big hand over there. Hopefully they don't use some kind of both players shuffle their hand cards. So we got the Xatu going here. Ability, I hate that it just, like, as soon as things start happening like that, it like gets rid of what I'm trying to look at. So the Clairvoyant Sense ability. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic Psychic Energy card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. If you attach energy to this Pokemon this way, draw 2 cards. Okay, so they attach to the Xatu. Code breaking. Search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, then put those cards on top in any order. Okay. If I get some kind of make my opponent shuffle card here, wouldn't be bad. They also attach the experience share to the active Xatu, which I believe only works. So that's a card where if it's attached to a Pokemon on the bench and your active Pokemon gets knocked out, 1 energy from your active Pokemon goes to your bench Pokemon. So adding it to the Xatu there is kind of strange, especially because I'm just going to knock it out here. So Xatu is unable to attack because it needs 3 energies for its attack. I'm going to drop a barrel onto the bench. We can possibly use its ability here. I'm going to drop Arcanine into the active position so we can knock out the Xatu on this turn. I can also attach a Fire-type energy because we're going to be discarding some of our Fire-type energy here. I can use Barrel's Industrious Incisors. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand, or I can just drop this Professor's Research, which is a trainer card. It's a supporter, which means I can only play 1 supporter card per turn. You can play as many trainer cards as you want, but if it's a supporter, you can only play 1. Which I would discard my hand and draw 7, which I want to do. I don't want that Magma Basin up. I don't really care for it. Those would probably be cards I get rid of in this deck if I were playing it. But we do draw a Radiant Charizard. We do also draw Charmander, which I will drop here. I'm going to also evolve this Charmander into a Charmeleon. And I do have Ultra Balls, which are handy little item cards that allow you to discard 2 cards from your hand to then search your deck for any Pokemon card that you want. 1 of any Pokemon card you want. Also got Arven. Search your deck for any item card and Pokemon tool card, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. Which is a supporter card, so I can't do that this turn. I think... Well, I only have 4 cards, so I can use my Barrel, Industrious Incisors to draw 1 card. I get the Switch, which is nice. This is a trainer card that allows you to switch your active Pokemon with your bench Pokemon, which allows you to get around this retreat cost, which you see at the bottom. This Arcanine has a retreat cost of 3, which means I would have to discard 3 energy cards to be able to retreat my Arcanine. So I'm just going to attack with the Bright Flame, discard 2 of my Fire-type energies, knocking out Xatu. This is a basic Pokemon, or not a basic Pokemon, it's a normal Pokemon. It's not an EX or anything, so I only get 1 prize card for knocking it out. But that does put me in the lead. And then my opponent's just got a bunch of Natus hanging out here, so we'll see if a Xatu comes up for them. But even then, we already saw Xatu takes 3 energies. None of these Natu have any energy on them. We see another Xatu. This will allow them, if they attach a Psychic Energy card to, I believe, on the bench Pokemon, they can draw 2 cards. Capturing Aroma. Again, I hate that it won't keep the card up that I'm trying to look at. Come on. If I click on it. Flip a coin of heads, search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, reveal it, put in your hand. Tails, a search deck for basic Pokemon, reveal it, put in your hand. So they just got a Pokemon I couldn't see because I was too busy reading the card. But they do have this Enamor's V on the field and this Arceus V. So these are 2 of their heavy hitters. I believe give you 2. Yes, the V Pokemon also give you 2 prize cards if you pull them. Arven, do I need an item card or a Pokemon 2? I don't think at the moment I do. Although this Magma Basin might end up coming in use because I am just burning so many of my energy cards here trying to knock out Pokemon. I'm actually going to use Arven. Yeah, I'm going to use Arven because I want to grab a rare candy. What a rare candy allows me to do is, and I'll grab an experience there. Rare candies allow you to, so usually I'd have to evolve Charmander to Charmeleon and the Charizard. I could just evolve Charmander straight to Charizard if I have Charizard in my hand. So that's nice. I think I'm going to drop the experience share onto I'm going to drop it onto Charmeleon. Just because it's already there, so in case like my rare candy somehow gets swapped out, I don't want to have to worry about trying to find it again. So let's Bright Flame here, knock out the Xatu. My opponent seems to have a hard time getting their energies from this deck. So this is something we're going to have to look into when we end up using this deck, because I believe this is a deck that you can use, because all these cards, I believe, are ones that I have already. Okay, so the Arceus V comes up. They think that they might be safe this turn, I think, because I only have 1 energy, but we're going to be dropping Magma Basin here. Or we can even search for our Charizard. Oh, I guess, yeah, Magma Basin, it works with this Arcanine. 'Cause again, this deck is about taking damage to yourself. So if you're doing damage to yourself, you're boosting your Raging Claw. It's all cool. So the Buddy Buddy Poffin, search for 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less. Put them on your bench. They find their Manaphy. And then they add an experience. They're doing... My opponent's putting the experience share on the wrong Pokemon. Is the problem. They need to put on a bench Pokemon so that energy gets sent backwards. But what I can do here, add a Fire-type energy to Arcanine. I can play Magma Basin, and then activate the Magma Basin to get a Fire-type energy out of my discard pile. Oh, I have to add it to a Pokemon on the bench. I didn't know that. I didn't read. So I guess I'll attach it to Charmeleon. So that Charmeleon, we definitely want to get to that Charizard that if he takes damage, then it does damage, you know? I'm gonna... No, I'm not gonna Super Rod here. I don't need to. I'm just gonna Raging Claw this turn. Oh, wait. No, I could... Ultra Ball. I'm gonna Ultra Ball. So I discard 2 of my cards, Super Rod and Defiance Band. Done. It allows me to go to my deck and grab 1 Pokemon. So I can grab this Charizard that makes it so each Fire-type energy counts as 2. I can then evolve using the rare candy this Charmander into this Charizard. So now my Arcanine can use Bright Flame to knock out this Arceus. I wanted to get that off because I didn't want that Arceus attacking. Plus, it gets rid of one of the energies on the field. And because my opponent is putting... Oh, I only have to use 1. Oh, yeah. I only have to discard 1 because it counts for 2 for that Charizard. That's nice. I wasn't sure if that's how that worked or not. So that's very nice, actually. I get Boss's Orders and Professor's Research. So I could end this next turn if I get the energy I need, I think. Oh, no, they're just going to put the Enamorus up front, so I could do this without having to swap their Pokemon. Because what I was going to do, Boss's Orders, it allows you to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with the active Pokemon, so I could pull up the Enamorus and kill it if I get the energy that I need next turn. But now I even have more of a win condition because the Enamorus is already here. Does do the Psychic Energy. Enamorus, what's your ability? Prevent all effects of opponent's abilities done to each of your Pokemon that has any Psychic Energy attached to it, except for the Enamorus. Okay. So, this should be game here as long as I can pull an energy. I do have 2 Professor's Researches. Just like I like to play in a way that is going to allow me to have win cons if like something just terrible happened for some random reason. So I'm going to Ultra Ball still, even though I can just Professor's Research. I'm going to put this Charizard onto my Charmeleon, and then I'll play a Professor's Research, discard my hand, draw 7 new cards, which I get 3 Fire-type energies, which is what I need. I'm going to drop the Moltres on the bench, and then I'm going to attach this Fire-type energy to Arcanine, and then we can Bright Flame into the Enamorus, knocking it out for our last 2 prize cards. Oh, yep, I'm doing this again. Sorry. I only need to do one of those. Knocks out the Enamorus. So, that is that game. This was a rather quick game, so I think I'm going to do one more game to see if we can get maybe that Charizard EX up and running. So, I'm going to find one more game here, guys. So, I found out what it means. I am playing ranked, but I'm playing the standard rank ladder, not the expanded rank ladder. So, we are playing ranked here. So, we got our next fight. Our opponent is calling the coin flip to see who goes first. They chose heads. Flipping the coin. I've realized I've rubbed my head a lot right now. It's because I have short hair, so I do that. Like, I don't, I can't, I guess I kind of just like push it back when I'm longer here. Do I want to go first? Yeah, let's go first this time. Let's see if we don't mulligan 5 times this time. Okay, we start off with a Charmander. Not the best, but we do have 2 switches in case we get a Growlithe here. And I can Nest Ball for a Growlithe, because Nest Ball, you can search your deck for a basic Pokemon. My opponent does mulligan. So that means I get 1 free card at the start here. And you can choose to draw or not. It depends on how you're feeling about drawing too many cards at the start. Because if you do run out of cards in your deck, and then the following turn, if you're unable to draw, you lose. Sorry. So my opponent does have a water type deck here, which is gonna be bad because our fire types are all weak to that, which isn't great for me. I am gonna Nest Ball here. I'm gonna grab the Growlithe. So I want to get that started. I thought about grabbing the Barrel, but the Barrel doesn't really help me. So my opponent's Lapras can't attack right away here. So I am going to play a switch. Am I? Yeah, I want to make sure Growlithe is up in the active spot. I don't want to get my hand shuffled. I'm going to attach the fire type energy to it. Unfortunately, I can't stoke because I went first here. So I think I will just end my turn. Let's see. Community Center. What does this do? Once during each player's turn, if they played a supporter card from their hand this turn, they may heal 10 damage from each of the Pokemon. Okay. We see a Great Ball, which you flip a coin. Or you look at look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there, put in your hand, shuffle your deck afterward. Then they're going to play a Nest Ball to get a basic Pokemon. So you're going to go get a Froakie, I'm sure. Get the Froakies rolling. Oh, a Chen-Pao. Oh, Nest Balls are nice. You can get those EXs. A Chen-Pao EX. So this is the Chen-Pao deck, another one of the basic ones, which this is a good one to run because I'm sure a lot of people are running the Arcanines. The Arcanine deck, and there is another Charizard deck, but that's technically a Dark type deck. So, I do pull the experience share, so I'm going to drop that onto my Charmander. Do I want the I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to play a Magma Basin just to get rid of this Pokemon or the Community Center. And then I can stoke with my Growlithe to get 2 fire-type energies from my deck and get attached to Growlithe. The best my opponent can do on the next turn is do 10 damage each of my Pokemon with the Hail attack from Lapras. Melee is a support card where you attach a basic fire energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. If you do, draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. So I have no fire type energies in my discard right now. So we'll have to see how this next turn goes because we're kind of out of resources already, and that's not great because it allows my opponent to draw more. But we pulled the Arcanine, which is what we needed. So I can just knock this Lapras, and then they're already out of an energy. And then next turn I can play the Milla. So let's knock out Lapras. Let's pull 1 prize card to take the lead off the rip. And we'll see how my opponent can respond to this. I don't know much about this Chen-Pao deck. I don't know if they have ways to draw water energies out of the discard pile or not. Let me actually look at this Chen-Pao. Once during your turn, this Pokemon is the active Pokemon. You may search your deck for 2 basic water energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand. And then shuffle your deck. So they can only attach 1 energy here. So if I can get 2 energies on the Arcanine, which I can, in this next turn, I can actually knock out this Chen-Pao. They're going to Ultra Ball here. Probably looking for the Greninja, because they have the Frogadier on the bench. If I can knock out this Chen-Pao this next turn... Oh, they have Baxcalibur in that deck. Don't know anything about that card. I just like Baxcalibur's Pokemon. They're actually going to grab Frigibax. So... put the Frigibax on the bench, and then they're going to pass their turn. I can kill this Chen-Pao here. This is going to be huge for me. I have 2 fire type energies. I'm going to attach this one to Arcanine. I don't... Wait, what? Why can't I play this? Oh, you can't use this... you can use this card only if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Dang it. I, for some reason, thought I could do that. And the Magma Base only works on Pokemon on the bench. I guess I could throw Charmander to the Wolves? And then knock out Chen-Pao next turn? I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I don't need Chen-Pao doing a ton of damage. I'm going to switch Arcanine out, use the Magma Basin to grab a Fire-type energy from my discard pile, attach it to Arcanine, take the 20 damage, which is fine. Then I can end my turn here. And then next turn, Arcanine goes wild on this Chen-Pao. If my opponent wants to attack this turn, they have to attach an energy to Chen-Pao, which leaves my opponent pretty in the weeds next turn. So hopefully they just don't have a supporter that can pull up my Arcanine. That would be bad. Do they attack our Charmander here? Yep, they're going to attack Charmander. And I believe with this, you may discard any amount of water energy from your Pokemon that's attacked to 60 damage for each card that you discard in this way. So you have to at least discard 1, which is very nice for us. So we allow the Charmander to go down. That's fine. I'm okay with that because it puts my Arcanine in place to get rolling here. I am going to drop the Nest Ball so I can grab Bidoof. Because I've had this barrel in my hand since the beginning of the game. It would be nice to get it out there. I'm going to drop the Mila to get the Fire-type energy onto my Arcanine. I should have played my Fire-type energy. I could have drawn more cards. Heck. But we also get an Ultra Ball, which I could use to grab a Charizard here. I think I'm just going to drop a Fire-type energy on the Arcanine, and we're just going to start rolling with this Bright Flame. Knockout to the Chen-Pao. This allows me to get 2 prize cards. Get a Charmander. Perfect. So that means I could get Charmander, and I could get a Charizard up here. Start getting that ready. Gonna bring up the Frogadier. I don't know how the Greninja works in this deck, or if my opponent even can draw into a Greninja. But this Frogadier needs 2 water-type energies. Boss's orders, they're gonna pull up the Bidoof. That's fine, man. That is totally fine. They're trying to stall by pulling out my Bidoof, so I have to take resources to get it out of that position. I pull another rare candy. I'm gonna get Charmander down. This Bidoof needs 2 energies to retreat, so I'm just gonna use the 1 energy on this Bidoof. And then pay the retreat cost to get my Arcanine up. Should I? Oh, I should have used the Magma Basin first. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb person. I'm going to play the Bidoof. I'm going to play the Ultra Ball, discarding a Magma Basin and a Fire-type energy to then grab the Charizard that reduces the cost of attacks. Unfortunately, I can't play it this turn because I just played the Charmander, but I can Insidious Incisors to grab 2 more Pokemon. I do grab an experience share, which is nice. I don't want to play it on this Charmander, though, because that's going to be my little baby Charmander. And then I'm just going to Bright Flame here, right? Or no. Well, no, I'm going to Raging Claws just to save my energies right now. Do big 50 because of the 20 damage we've taken. So next turn I can knock out this Frogadier. Gonna grab a Froakie for the bench. They can do 80 damage here to me, and then switch the Frogadier out, but I'm not super worried about that. Oh, they attach their water energy to the Frigibax. Okay, go for it. Go for it, bruh. Do they have another boss's orders to bring my one of my bench Pokemon up. Because if they bring the barrel up, we're kind of in an issue. So I guess I could... Well, no, because Magma Basin only attaches to Fire-type Pokemon. Oh, they're just going to manually retreat. Okay. That's interesting. Because they're trying to save it for their Greninja. Okay. Okay, bruv. Oh, they are able to use Collect to draw a card this turn, too. Okay, I could Arven to make sure I have a switch in my hand. Or... Well, first, let's Rare Candy. Evolve into Charizard. I could play a Bidoof, but I don't really need to. I am gonna Arven here, because it allows me to grab a trainer card and a tool card. Energy Search. I'm gonna Nest Ball. So selection is... I'm not gonna grab the Defiance Band because I don't need extra cards in my hand right now. You can choose to refuse to do that because your opponent can't see your deck, so they can't be like, hey, you have a tool card in there, which is nice. I don't have any more Charmanders, which is not great, but I can grab this Charizard, put it on the bench, add an experience share to this Charizard, and then we can use Barrel's ability to draw extra cards, and we have a boss's orders for later. We have another Fire-type Energy, which I'm going to play onto Arcanine here. I'm going to use the Magma Basin, just to ensure that this Charizard has a Fire-type Energy on it, on the bench. And then we can Bright Flame, or no, we could just Raging Claws here. I should do 70, right? Why did it only do 50 that one? Oh, it shows you the boosted. So I'd only do 50 damage. I'm gonna... You know what? We have energy. And we only have to expend one because of the Charizard now. So we might as well just knock out this Frigibax. Get it out of here so it can't start doing... Can't help my opponent draw extra cards. And we can grab a prize card. We grab a Charmeleon, which doesn't help us because we don't have any Charmanders. Did I guess this deck only has two Charmanders? Okay, Froakie shows up. Yeah, this deck only must only have two Charmanders in it, so that's something I'd probably end up changing to. A Youngster. Shuffle your hand in your deck, then draw 5. It's the old... What card used to do that? Charen, like, draw 3. Tiorna was draw 3. There was some card that allowed you to do that. Can't remember what it was. Shauna? Sounds like a Shauna card. Or no. Can't remember. There was so many different support cards for drawing stuff. They do bring in the Champao. If my opponent plays Champao, I could end this. Yep. I get to end this game next turn. Alright, perfect. Sometimes that can be the detriment to you. They're actually going to concede. So what I could have done this turn is played Boss's Orders, which would allow me to drag the Chien-Pao up to the active position and then knock it out. So yeah, even at a type disadvantage, we were able to pull that out. My opponent got really unlucky with their draws. I think it was a big help for us, but we also played to our win cons. So thank you so much for joining me today for this Pokemon TCG live video where we tried out the Arcanine EX deck that is provided to you through the game. Next time, we're going to try out another deck, and we're going to continue to try and build our what's it called? Our repertoire? No, our card library, so we can start building our own decks and start getting real competitive with it. So, again, thank you so much for joining me, and like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everybody.